Hello and welcome to the Cedar Public Access Channel. My name is Adriana, also known as the Artist Lady Midnight, and on behalf of myself and the Cedar Cultural Center, we really appreciate you being here with us tonight. If you are here, you probably already know about the programs that are happening at the Cedar and already believe in the impact that the arts can have on building healthy communities. So if you'd like to continue to support the work that the Cedar does, we do encourage you to make a suggested donation of $10 or any amount that you can on the website thecedar.org/donate. For this episode, I will be introducing you to a project that I created as part of my participation on the Cedar Artist Collective. In 2019, the Cedar launched its inaugural year of the Artist Collective, a group of 6 artists that guide community engagement and curate programming at the Cedar. It's now in its 2nd year, and really the collective works to help shape creative methods of engagement, participate in deep conversations, give feedback, essentially influence business as usual practices and systems at the Cedar, as well as plan or curate a program that would expand on the Cedar's offerings or its audience. So the way I interpreted that was to create a virtual art piece. So before I talk to you about what the piece actually is, I think it's important for me to talk about how I got there, how I got here. Initially, when I was given the opportunity to create something for the Cedar, I knew I wanted to create a live performance. And I felt that it was really important to create a performance that would unite artists of multiple disciplines in order to create this unified power of healing. Then, as you know, the pandemic hit and having an in-person performance was no longer an option. So I started wrestling with the idea of how I could create this same sensation virtually. We were also dealing with the uprisings here in Minneapolis, and it became increasingly obvious to me that it was important to create something that reflected the time. Through a set of limitations, I really had to change my process, which brought me here. And in my own self-interest, I started researching different properties of sound, how they can be healing, and I came across a concept of solfeggio frequencies. The physician and researcher Dr. Joseph Puleo rediscovered solfeggio frequencies in the 1970s, bringing their benefits back into public awareness. In his research, he used mathematical numerical reduction to identify 6 measurable tones that bring the body back into balance and aid in healing. Those tones happen to relate to different chakra points on the body as well, if you're familiar with chakras. While there isn't a scientific study showing evidence with these particular tones that they help address with specified mental health issues, there is evidence that music and sound help reduce stress, anxiety, and help with memory loss as well. I am not a sound healer, never claimed to be, but I am interested in the experimentation with sound, especially when set to these limitations. So all of that brought me to this piece. Practice for Relief is an experimental virtual sound installation designed as a meditative exploration to help release feelings of guilt, fear, and negativity. The sounds have been tuned to the solfeggio frequency of 396 hertz, which is believed to help liberate people from feelings of guilt, fear, and negativity. Right now, it was important for me to be able to create a piece that would hold space for this. When I initially met with Brian Skalak of REM5, it felt like we were on the same wavelength. There were definitely things that he had already been experimenting with this company that were things that I was wondering if they were possible. And I was very fortunate to be able to bring in some past collaborators of mine working with the visual artist Andres Guzman, who created a lot of the drawings and animations that you'll see in the space, the incredible pianist Kaviraj, the incredible bassist Jalyn Spencer, and supernatural electronic producer Ziyad Habib, who is actually based in DC. It was important for me that they were able to communicate and find some connection, as this whole piece is about finding connection to oneself. So I didn't want them to create in a way that felt siloed. I really wanted them to be able to respond to one another and through their frequencies be able to create this platform of sound. I enlisted the help of Brock Lammers of Mid-City Studio, who was able to do a little bit of research and find a platform to allow them to be able to hear each other live, even though they're playing remotely in different places. Once we were able to amass all of these individual tracks, we were able to consolidate them into the space, which allows somebody to create an avatar, go into this world, and be able to interact with different soundtracks so that you can get a more individualized experience if you want to hear one track over another. But there's also room for you to be able to hear all 3 tracks simultaneously and have a pretty balanced mix. The intention of being in this space is really to bring awareness to those feelings that might be uncomfortable, might bring up feelings of negativity, and asking you, proposing the question of what would it be like, what would it feel like, look like for you to not live with this guilt anymore? Is there something that you can do to help pass it through, to let go of it, forgiveness for yourself or for others? It's not necessary that you have to be thinking about that, but I did want to offer it as a space for meditation and investigation. It's very important for us, if we are going to live full lives, that we are able to release these feelings of guilt and negativity that might be holding us back in some ways from connecting to ourselves or to our larger community. I'm so excited to be able to invite you all watching to be the first participants in this virtual installation. If you would like to participate, you can check out a link that is going to be listed right now in the comments section. Click that link, it's going to ask you for your email, and once you've provided it, you will receive an email that has a link to the installation. You don't need to have any other equipment. It's really easily accessible through a web browser. I do want to give you a tip though. You should access it through a laptop or PC, and it should be the web browser Google Chrome. You're going to have the best results if you access it through Google Chrome on a laptop. So once you have the link and you are in the room, you'll be asked to create an avatar. That avatar can be customizable, and then there'll be instructions on how to move your avatar. We do have limited space, so only the first 25 people will be able to create an avatar. If you are not able to make an avatar, you're still able to access the room. You're just not able to access all of the functions. You'll be listed kind of as a ghost, but you can still participate and hear the installation. I would like everybody to experience this space, so after 15 minutes, I'm going to ask everyone to gather into the lobby where I will be hosting a Q&A with all of the designers, the artists who participated in making the sound, the engineer, the virtual designer, as well as the visual artist. Thank you to everyone who watched today. I really hope that I get to meet you in the virtual space at some point. I also really want to thank the Cedar for allowing me to be part of the Cedar's Artist Collective. It's been a really great experience, and without their support, I really would not have come to be able to explore this new medium. So I really, really appreciate them. And I encourage you all watching to help continue to support the Cedar. Again, visit them at thecedar.org/donate if you'd like to help continue important work like this.